We suspect that all of these addresses are responsible for dealing drugs, heroin and crack cocaine. The intelligence is that they've been active for a number of months.
This is clearly a very well embedded, sophisticated OCG. There's probably been several years in the running. This now takes us to around 36 kilos of Class A drugs recovered. We can evidence that they have supplied in excess of 200 kilos plus. So we're talking millions of pounds worth of profit.
It's just before 5 a.m. here in Greater Manchester, and I'm heading out on day one of 2 days of warrants. I'm going to be with the serious and organised crime team who are tackling drug dealing across Greater Manchester. This morning, I'm heading up to Bolton, where the team are carrying out 11 warrants, and they're expecting to find Class A, Class B and Class C drugs. There's also a possibility that they'll find cash, weapons and other paraphernalia that goes along with serious organised crime. Tomorrow, I'll be with another team who are also in the same division, executing 6 warrants in Salford, where they're expecting to find Class A and Class B drugs.
Morning's warrants were in relation to Operation Adela, which was a covert, proactive operation targeted at drug supply in Greater Manchester and throughout the UK. We executed 12 warrants and searches at the addresses. We've arrested 9 persons in total now, and we've successfully recovered what we believe to be around 4 kilos of Class A drugs, some cash counting machines, and a number of mobile phones that we believe linked to the criminal OCG.
And when you say it's a national supply of drugs, do you know where you think those drugs are going?
Yes, they are literally, we can evidence that they're going throughout England, into Scotland, Wales, down south to sort of Plymouth, Gloucester, London, literally nationwide, Glasgow, Swansea, and various other places. We had 11 of the addresses today were Bolton addresses, and an additional one in Droylsden. Today in itself probably has taken quite a bit of organisation and planning, as you can imagine, with officers all the relevant addresses and sort of health and safety and stuff like that, making sure we have enough people, enough searches, dogs, entry officers, etc. It's probably been around 3 weeks in the planning and organising. We can evidence that they've been operating well in excess of a year, but beyond that, I couldn't be quite so sure.
And how much, 4 kilos of cocaine, how much profit do you think they're making?
We, through the operation, not including today, from the operation since it started, this now takes us to around 36 kilos of Class A drugs recovered physically. We can evidence that they have supplied in excess of 200 kilos plus during that conspiracy period, from mobile phone seizures, evidence, messages recovered. So we're talking millions of pounds worth of profit. I suppose the obvious harms that come with Class A drugs is obviously the harm that it causes in relation to people's health, but then the obvious crime that's associated to that. You sort of acquisitive crime, your burglaries, your violent crimes, everything that comes as a side off of it. This is clearly a very well embedded, sophisticated OCG. There's probably been several years in the running. There wasn't any clear and obvious sort of signs of that cocoon or anything like that. I think they're a bit more higher tiered level drug dealing than that.
So would they be basically moving high quantities of drugs across the UK, which would then be disseminated out?
Yes, that may well occur towards the lower levels. I would expect that probably could well be occurring, but not at the high levels here that we were looking at. We've had a really successful day. I've not had a chance to come back and have feedback with the team, but I think within 2 minutes of going through the doors, we had 9 people arrested, so yeah, really successful. We've recovered cocaine, heroin, cannabis, we've recovered ketamine, a variety of other drugs, but predominantly it's cocaine and heroin that the OCG are moving. We're watching, this isn't the end, we keep going, and we'll review the evidence after today, and we'll hopefully find other avenues to find out anybody else who's still running as part of that OCG.
During the searches of one of the houses they had a warrant for, police found a key for the storage container which they were hoping to be able to search. Anyway, they believed that the suspected organised crime gang was using the container, which was 5 minutes away from the houses, in order to store some of their drugs and potentially cash. Upon arrival at the container unit, it had already been searched by D.S. O'Brien, who told The Sun that drugs is a cash-rich business. The suspected drugs, which police believe was around 4 kilos of cocaine, was in that unit alongside children's toys, clothing, cardboard boxes, plastic boxes. Behind me, police have executed 4 warrants on a housing estate in Salford. You can see the police just there. This is where they are expecting to find Class A and Class B drugs. We're looking at crack cocaine and heroin. It is just before 6 in the morning. There's a gentleman down this way who said he's got 3 dogs, so he's being asked to put them away.
We suspect that all of these addresses, so 5 addresses this morning, are responsible for dealing drugs on what we call a drug line that operate in Swinton. Heroin and crack cocaine, the intelligence is that they've been active for a number of months. The communities of Salford could obviously rest assured that we will take robust action against anyone who seeks to profit from drugs. Drugs generate so much criminality, theft from motor vehicles, burglaries. We've recovered property today which we believe has come from a local burglary. We hope that the residents understand that this action is needed to take robust action against those that prey on the vulnerable. We should be here probably for another couple of hours. We've certainly found property from a local burglary which happened only last week. We found heroin and white powder at the moment, which we believe is cocaine. We'll obviously have to work out exactly who is involved and what their level of criminality is, but people like this are preyed on by others. We're not. That isn't lost on us. So everyone will be looked at for their own merits. These may well be vulnerable in their own right. That is something that we will obviously investigate as we go through this investigation. Hopefully it will certainly disrupt it as a minimum. It all depends on what we recover. It will certainly take down one drugs line, so it should have an impact. Unfortunately, those that take drugs may well find other opportunities to buy drugs. All we can ask is that communities continue to provide us information, and we will act robustly to target it. Unless we're given bits of information to start with, we don't know where to look. So yeah, 100%. It's unusual, it's not unheard of, but yes, it's certainly, in my 25 years, it's only a handful of times that we've done so many warrants in such close vicinity. As far as we're aware, it's just local to Swinton and Salford. It's not, I guess, when we start to look at data, it may be further afield, but yeah, normally drug lines are relatively local. Modern slavery is obviously at the forefront of our minds when we deal with any drugs investigation.
And what would you like to say to, drug dealers within Salford? Should they be afraid? Are you watching?
We're always watching, yeah. You should be afraid. To the communities, please give us information. You can do it anonymously by Crime Stoppers if you don't want to speak to your local police officers. Speak to housing, social services, anyone you need to speak to. Provide us information and we will act robustly on it.